African proverb says, "The child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel the warmth." What time in your life have you been closest to starting the fire? For some reason or another, my mother hated me. As a little girl, I could never understand why she treated me so much worse than my 3 other siblings. And I would often go up to my grandmother and ask her, "Why doesn't my mama love me?" She never could give me a straight answer and would tell me, "Your mama loves you in the only way she knows how." That answer confused me because she loved my siblings just fine. Disclaimer: her love was toxic AF, and she did a different type of damage to my other siblings. Now, when I say that my mother treated me badly, it started out with her picking fights with me. She would constantly nitpick at everything I did, chastising me, and at the end of the day, punishing me harshly for something that could have been a gentle scolding. When I got older, she started cussing at me and calling me names. She would often ignore me for days on end, and when she would talk to me, it would be to make me the butt end of a bad joke, or to tell me she hated me. Yes, my mother looked me dead in my eyes and told me she hated me. Disclaimer number 2. She was a drug addict and alcoholic, and she loves to claim all the emotional abuse she put me, though as a child was the effects of the drugs, and it wasn't even that bad. It was things like that that really began to tear at me after a while. All sorts of terrible things she did to me growing up, the terrible things she said, and how she ignored me constantly. All of it very different than how she treated my other 3 siblings. She was very close with one of my brothers and my sister. She would spend time with them constantly, take them anywhere, buy them anything that they wanted, and it made me resent them. My sister would sometimes rub it in my face that Mom loved her more. It was her way of having power over me, and it was one of the things that made my rage bubble over on innocent people. I just wanted to be loved and accepted. I wanted to be cared for and cherished as a child should be. And when I didn't get that, I plotted on how I was going to get her love and affection. In my screwed up mind, I thought that if I got rid of my older brother and younger sister, I would be one of the only people left for her to love. I planned on killing my brother. How screwed up is that? It wasn't just some thought that passed through my head. It was a constant idea, a plan that I was putting into place to end his life so that I could make room in my mother's heart for me. I feel ashamed writing it out. It was a dark time in my life, and I was also incredibly mentally ill. My brother was addicted to pain medications, and my parents were trying desperately to get him clean at the time. Ironically, at the same time he was going on a drug-induced rampage, my sister had shattered her leg on a trampoline. She was on some pretty heavy pain pills, and while my mother was doing everything in her power to keep my brother away from the drugs, she would leave my sister and her drugs in my care. So one day, while my mother was out dealing with my brother and my sister was sleeping, I took the rest of her pills my sister was super afraid of, becoming addicted to drugs after watching what my mother and brother were going through. So there was a ton left, and I waited for my brother to come back. When I heard him come through his window, his room was next to mine, I went into the kitchen and made him a glass of juice. Earlier in the day, I had crushed up the pills into a powder, and I mixed them into the juice. I went up to his room, knocked on the door, and offered him the cocktail of various prescription drugs. He took the juice, and right before he was about to drink it, I had thought, how could I do this to my own brother? I snatched the drink back, and it spilled all over the carpet. He was high and super pissed, but at least he was alive. I never tried anything like that again. It felt so sick, wrong, evil. I mean, what type of person thinks about killing their brother? Besides, my brother dying wouldn't make my mother love me anymore. She would have just resented me for living instead of him. So that's the sad, sick story of how I almost executed my brother. I didn't actually carry through with it, obviously, and I guess everyone lived happily ever after. My brother got clean and now has a happy family. I'm in college. My sister's leg healed up nicely, and my mom left us after a while. But that's a story for another time.